Everybody's talking about Guitar Hero right now and the fact that we might eventually get a reboot of the series. And that's something that I never thought would happen. I'm pretty sure a lot of people never thought this is something that would ever happen. But I've been seeing on like various web forums online that they should make another Guitar Hero game or reboot the series sometime in the future. Now, like for the most part, the series has either been dead or on a hiatus because the last main like Guitar Hero game actually was a flop. And I believe that was Guitar Hero Live, and it came out either in 2015 or 2016. And the reason why, or at least one of the reasons why, I guess like the Guitar Hero like live game was considered to be weak was because they started putting like microtransactions in the game and all that stuff. And that was something that hurt the overall quality of the game, just like microtransactions seemingly hurt, the quality of every game. And on top of that, like the Guitar Hero series by like the mid-teens was pretty much oversaturated. And the reason I say that is because we got so many games like from the mid to late 2000s onwards. We had like a new Guitar Hero game coming out almost every year. At times, it felt like there was another Guitar Hero game coming out every other month. And because of that, I guess people really just didn't care as much because, for the most part, it's like, you just had like you had different versions of Guitar Hero, and they had different themes. You had like different music, and then got to a point where you can pretty much I guess like import music and stuff like that, or you can add music to the game and just play off of that. But like for the most part, like the Guitar Hero series, along with the Music Rhythm series, after a while, I'd say after like late to early teens, started to kind of decline in terms of popularity, and because of that, like I do feel that like one of the reasons why that became a thing, in my opinion, along with the fact that there was oversaturation in Guitar Hero games, was because during like the teens decade, or at least during the first half of the decade, that's when indie music started to become popular. Indie, like, rock bands and just indie whatever. Indie stuff became more popular, and instead of buying video games with with pre-licensed music and all that stuff, they would just some other people would just become artists, and they really didn't care as much. And on top of that, like in terms of just music in general, I feel like after the early teens, everything started to go downhill dramatically. And honestly, I do feel that like that indirectly had an effect on the Guitar Hero series as well, because you look at most of the games that had like older like music from the past and all that stuff. Most of those were like in Guitar Hero. You had all kinds of famous bands, like I believe there's like a Nirvana like themed Guitar Hero game, and I believe there's like a Beatles themed like Guitar Hero game as well. But yeah, it's like for the most part, it was like a lot of the stuff that was featured in Guitar Hero was like old music from back in the days. It wasn't really like too much modern stuff for the most part. And like I said, quality of music began to decline over time, like especially like after the first half of the teens decade. But everybody has their own respective opinion about that. But as far as the Guitar Hero reboot is concerned, basically Activision CEO Bobby Kotick basically he had pretty much hinted at a town meeting that pretty much like I guess the series could possibly make a reboot, and the reason why is because you look at technology and it's evolving and all that stuff, like especially like with virtual reality and everything like that, it would make for a great gaming experience. And I do feel that virtual reality could enhance like the music rhythm genre even more so than before, because I guess like you would most likely be like interacting with your environment and stuff like that, opposed to just looking at a screen and playing a guitar and what have you. But but I do believe that I believe he mentioned something about being influenced by Elon Musk's like Neuralink technology, which I don't think has it hasn't been like a thing that has been spreading or anything like that, but I heard that Neuralink was like tested on someone or some people, but I'm not exactly sure whether or not that's eventually going to catch on. But yeah, as technology is like evolving and and basically expanding and all that stuff, I do feel that that could definitely help Guitar Hero in the future. I'm not exactly sure if the series gets reboot, whether or not we're going to see a revival of the music rhythm genre. But I do know that if like the rumors are true and this does end up happening, um, I can see the game doing like pretty well in terms of sales due to the fact that the series has been absent for a while, and that's probably what Guitar Hero needed. It just needed a bit of a hiatus, because getting games like every year or every other month, it just kind of, I don't know, it didn't really mean much after a while, and I do feel like that's one of those things that ended up harming the Guitar Hero series in the long run. And I don't think like the Guitar Hero series, if it does get brought back, I don't think it's ever going to be as popular as it once was, like during the late 2000s. Because I believe, Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rock was like the best game in the entire series. And that came out like back in 2007. And then, and then it seemed like every other game after that was just kind of like it was good, but not quite as good as that, or it was just whatever. And then over time, it just became gimmicky. And then you had, Guitar Hero Encore. You had Guitar Hero like World Tour. You had Smash Hits. You had all these other like gimmicky versions of Guitar Hero, but I'll admit, like, Guitar Hero was actually mainstream at one point, and it was something that was appealing to a casual audience, whether it be children or whether it be adults. And even though, like, a reboot of the Guitar Hero series sounds awesome, I don't think it's ever going to have the level of popularity that it once had between the late 2000s and the early teens.